Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the most toxic team for the Summer Cup. I know there's going to be people complaining about things again here as well, but we're gonna take a look here today at the most toxic team because the most toxic team is quite a lot of fun, I have to say. Like, this team was so, like, no IQ kinda to play. It was kinda hilarious. And yes, actually, there is a say-stop for the team. I know some people might not like toxic teams because they think there's no say-stop, but there is a say-stop. Yeah, mainly it's going to be really tough, by the way. But there can be also occasions if you go into encounter. Oh, look at them, like, sorry, with 1 HP, how could they? But there could be also occasions where you kind of rather would want to go into the Tropius, which also is running Razor Leaf and not Aerial Ace. I don't know, like, I feel like giving too many hints here towards something different, but anyway, we're going to see here that the Wigglytuff is going to be able to actually bait out the Ferrothorn. What a surprise, a Pokemon that would be very bad for a Tropius to face. That's exactly what Say-Stops are supposed to do, getting out Pokemon here as well that are not really great for the Pokemon that we have in the back. And they survive with 1 HP, by the way, again, which kinda is hilarious to me, but oh, look at this, they're going to have a Swampert now. That's great for us, we win the game, bye-bye. Yeah, like, I don't know, like, I feel like it's not the most difficult, like, I mean, it's different. Here, by the way, we're going to change the fast move a little bit. You're going to see some, like, games here with the fast move of Rock Throw. I changed it in between a little bit, but honestly, I have to say that Incinerate definitely was the better move to go for. Rock Throw would be cooler for battles against something like a Mantine or something like a Pelipper, where I was a little bit scared about, and so that's why I kind of went for a Rock Throw here. So they're going to be battles with both of them. You can decide for yourself, like, you can decide for yourself. Both of them are going to be fine with Rock Throw or with the Incinerate. Both of them going to give you some kind of hole in the team, though. Like, there's always going to be something that is going to be a little bit tricky to play with, but that's kind of what I call calculated risk for those teams that I build as well. Like, there are sometimes just teams where one Pokemon is going to completely destroy the entire team, which happens for this team here as well, and there is no great fixing towards this from what I have seen so far, at least. Maybe you can come up with a solution towards it as well. But this team struggles quite a bit against Toxapex. You're going to see some battles against Toxapex here today as well. But of course, it's going to be a little bit tricky. There are definitely ways of fixing this problem, but yeah, it's going to be like a little bit tricky. Like, what do you really want to change? Like, there's going to be, like, you kind of want to change the lead, I would imagine, for it. Anyway, next opponent. Look at this, perfect lead for us. We can now see what they're going to go into. Our Quagsire, or goodbye, and the opponent can forfeit. Yeah, again, like, we can have quite a lot of very fun games here today. Oh, yeah, this would be, for example, one of the variants where you rather go into the Tropius. Oh, and look at this, the opponent has a Toxapex. What do you do against this Pokemon? You just go for Leaf Blades. You can just go ahead and go for a Leaf Blade, do quite a lot of damage against them, play the matchup out. Poison Jab is resisted on the Macargo as well, I think it is. And so we're going to be in a decent spot. They go for Sludge Wave, knock me out. That's okay for me. That is totally fine. Especially as they're going to give me a free Incinerate here. I can just use a shield. The opponent is going to go for the Brine. And I can go for a Rock Tomb after, like, 2 more fast moves because I'm now at 100 energy. I was just getting some free energy there anyway. And the opponent lets the move go through. And the hardest answer is gone. They go into a Vigoroth. I can go for the Rock Tomb. And I just stay in here. I know that there's a Kingdra in the back. I don't really care too much about this matchup. This is the best matchup for Macargo. Like, I don't really need to do anything here other than just go for those Rock Tombs. I might want to swap out after the next charge move, though. Body Slam is coming through. I'm just gonna go for another Rock Tomb. I don't really care too much about it because now I force the opponent to swap out. I force the opponent to swap out straight away, and so the Kingdra is gonna go up against a Wigglytuff, which is a great matchup for us. They still get to a move. I don't really care too much about it. They're actually gonna get the debuff here as far as I remember. Exactly. And so they can actually still survive 1 charm, but it's 1 charm only, basically, and so we are going to be able to just win this battle, even though there was a Toxapex. Still, Toxapex is for sure, like, the worst kind of Pokemon to encounter for this team. I was thinking about, like, different kind of leads as well here, but, like, nothing was really fitting towards it. Like, if you want to have it, like, I don't know, like, not really as a toxic team at least. Like, if you kind of want to be a little bit better against the Toxapex, you can use the normal Stunfisk in the lead here instead. But then you also have to swap the fast move of Tropius to the Air Slash then. Otherwise, like, it wouldn't work out at all. So, definitely something that you kind of need to do to adjust towards it. But anyway, we're going to see here again, we can just try to align ourselves. And this is, like, the most important thing for this team, alignment. Like, even if you're going to go 1 shield down, it is going to be fine because alignment is key. And here, for example, we were able to align ourselves, and we're also going to be able to go for the Icy Wind against the Tropius, which is just great for us. Like, literally double super effective. Not going to even connect, but we're gonna get the drop onto their attack, which is going to be great, as they're going to have a Stunfisk, and we have our own Tropius, and this game is over. Like, what is the opponent supposed to do now? Like, unless they're going to be able to somehow stall out the switch clock here, which I doubt they will be able to do, there's nothing the opponent can do. I just gonna go for the full farm down. This is why Razor Leaf Tropius is so busted. By the way, you can also go ahead and go for the Victory Bell instead. Like, Victory Bell is also totally fine if you don't have this original Pokemon, which does make sense. But anyway, here we're gonna see we can just go for the Aerial A spam. We can swap out into our Fire-type Pokemon soon as well. We do some nice damage with that. They can go for one charge move, but they will not be able to reach 3 of them in total, because we can also take 1 Leaf Blade from them. But also, we can just go for the Rock Tomb, finish up this battle, and we can move on to the next opponent. So, I think, like, I went definitely way positive with this team, by the way. Like, this team, I think I went 9-4 with this team in total, which is kind of cool. So, you're going to see most of those losses and most of the wins here as well. We're going to see the opponent gonna go for 1 Weather Ball. We can use a shield. Oh, they actually played this kind of well here. We're gonna see that the opponent decides to go for a double bait here, which is a spoiler alert for us, sadly. It's not going to be the Hurricane, it's going to be a Weather Ball. But I was actually very much surprised about what the opponent is going to do in this game, so this was actually the game that kind of made me decide to swap very quick to a Rock Tomb, thinking about, okay, yeah, like, this team might be a little bit too weak against Pelipper. At the end of the day, we kind of only had like a little bit of a tough time there because they actually got 2 baits done correctly, which is of course kind of an unlikely scenario here as well. But yeah, in general, we can still see we can still have a chance here, because here it's very likely that the opponent gonna try to go into that Pelipper after the Charger Bug goes down to try to snipe me with a Weather Ball that they're still stored. And so I swap out immediately, and I should have not done this. It's going to be the Diggersby in the back, and I could have just went for an Overheat and align myself, because now we're going to be in a very tough spot, because the opponent actually can go for still another charge move here. And it's going to be the Hurricane. I have no idea where they got the energy. Like, honestly, great energy management on that Pelipper. Well played by the opponent. Like, I cannot say anything else than that. Like, really well played by the opponent. I think our team would have had an advantage in general, but they just played it very, very well. So, yeah, definitely shout out to you. Well played there. We're going to see again some battles with the fast move Rock Throw. I think the opponent lagged a little bit there, which is of course a bit unfortunate, but we can just go for a big boom against that Lickitung, and we can swap out, and we will see that Charger Bug coming in. That's kind of lovely for us, because Charger Bug is actually a good matchup for us, as we can now use a shield. I think sometimes we win actually CMP tie as a Wigglytuff. I think it is really IV dependent from what I can kind of see so far, because I know there was a different battle as well where Wigglytuff was able to win the CMP type. So maybe, I don't know, I'm actually gonna check on the side real quick what the stats is for that while we can align ourselves, which is exactly what I kind of want to do anyway. But I feel like Wigglytuff and Charger Bug have similar. Yeah, Wigglytuff usually wins CMP tie. Here we just lost it because the opponent apparently has some attack investment onto the Charger Bug. But yeah, usually Wigglytuff does win the CMP tie by, yeah, 0.8 attack stat, which does not really mean too much. So even if like the opponent I think has like 2 attack or whatever, they would win the CMP tie instead. Yeah, actually 3 attack is needed to really get this most likely, but again, like, it is what it is. Here we're going to be able to align our Tropius, and honestly there were so many teams who were just so weak to Tropius. Tropius was just like completely shredding through opponents. It is quite mad. Body Slam going to not knock us out. We can even take another one. I still decided to use a shield here, just I don't know why, but yeah, we're just going to be able to win the battle anyway. Next opponent, Betchot in the lead. Perfect for us. Literally perfect, as the opponent is gonna stay in here. What this means is team reading abilities. That the opponent is going to be weak against our Magcargo with at least 1 Pokemon in the back. Like, that's basically for sure at this point. And that's like very valuable information, because if the opponent is staying in here, it is maybe worth it to keep the Magcargo around, just in case there's a Pokemon that Magcargo is going to, yeah, be good against. Here we're gonna see them going for that Brave Bird. We have quite a lot of energy from this matchup, and as you're gonna see, there's going to be the Quagsire. Quagsire is going to be good for our Tropius, and so even if they're going to swap out eventually here, we're still going to be able to align ourselves. So let's see what they're gonna go for. We can try to go for a nice event, but the opponent gets to their charge move in time, and with this, Mud Bump is going to do quite some decent damage. We can go for that Ice Event, try to debuff the opponent. This is going to get the shield from them, which is lovely. And we can now take a move from them as well. Look at this, I was correct here. There is a Charger Bug in the back, and Charger Bug cannot deal with our lead. And that's like the cool thing about Magcargo, why I like this Pokemon quite a lot in this meta. a lot of people are not prepared for rock-type Pokemon. And here, for example, the opponent was like thinking, yeah, fire-type Pokemon against like Pidgeot, it's still a decent matchup for Pidgeot, but just not against Magcargo. And so we will be able to just align ourselves. The opponent even goes for a Charge Move, which is kind of hilarious, as now Tropy is just going to be able to seal the deal and win this game. Honestly, this team was too good. Like, this team was so strong. Greedent. Two things that you can do here. You can stay in for a little bit, but I would kind of recommend you to not do this because just mud shot damage is kind of awkward sometimes. But as you can see, they swap out into the Charger Bug, and this is going to be great for us because we can go for an Ice Event, and this Ice Event should allow us to align ourselves correctly here, which is going to be great. They decide to use a shield, which is fine, and I still think I can just farm them all the way down here, hopefully. Let's see, they're gonna go for the discharge. That is okay for me. I should be able to farm them down, and I can farm them down. Now I have to try to go for another Icy Wind, but the opponent can get to that Body Slam in time. Great play by them. I will leave that to them, but I can just go into my Tropius. And here's the cool thing, they don't do fast move damage. They just don't do fast move damage. Like, it's 1 damage per mud shot because it is triple resisted from a non-step Greedent. And that's kind of ridiculous, to be fair. And so, like, the only way of them damaging us is going to be the Body Slam. And you see here, we have a perfect core basically available still to us. We still have 1 shield on both sides. And yeah, we are basically guarantee already a win without even knowing what they had in the back. Now, of course, it's going to be the Poliwrath, but there's basically no Pokemon that breaks both of my Pokemon there. And we have like a perfect matchup against whatever they had in the back, no matter what it was. And so we're going to be able to just easily win this battle and move on to the final one for today. Trevenant in the lead is going to be lovely for us. Let's see what's coming in next. It's going to be the Vigoroth, and you kind of want to stay in here. You want to stay in and go for 1 Rock Tomb. This is just softening up the next matchup for you. You can decide into whichever Pokemon you want to go to. I decided to go into the Tropius here. Might have been a mistake. Honestly, very likely could be a mistake, to be fair. So, like, I would most likely rather recommend you to go into the Wigglytuff, because also you have Icy Wind, which will help you out later on as well. So, yeah, it definitely was kind of a mistake by me. They're going to decide to go into the Trevenant, which has to take 1 move from my Tropius. Every Ace is going to connect, do quite a lot of damage. Again, this was actually a very silly play to go into the Tropius. I would not recommend you to do what I did there, because, like, basically... Yeah, honestly, like, there was no reason to do this. It is very likely going to be a Lantern in the back because, like, Lantern Trevenant is the perfect core. And, oh, look at this, it's a Lantern with Water Gun. And this is going to be basically impossible to win. So, I feel like from the battles they are lost with this team, it is basically mainly down to either, like, Toxapex, which is kind of, I don't know, rarely happened, to be fair to me, which is maybe kind of lucky. Who knows, you can still build a different team if you want to. But mainly because I kind of misplayed stuff. And this is... good knowledge and good things to actually recognize, because if you notice that you misplay something, you're at least going to be able to change that in the future, and it's not down to the team. So, like, the losses that we saw here today were mainly due to, yeah, basically me playing bad, which is good to know, I feel like. Like, it's good to know, and also, like, the other one was just the opponent playing better. Like, it was not even that I made, like, mistakes. But here, good game to the opponent, well played, and this is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Toxic, no brain skill team here, whatever. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.